The concept introduced in the heading Introduction, Context of the Miracle of Feeding the 5,000 delves into a biblical narrative found in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. This story recounts how Jesus miraculously fed a large crowd of over 5,000 people with only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. It is a powerful demonstration of divine provision, highlighting themes of abundance, compassion, and community. The feeding of the 5,000 is significant, as it underscores the notion of abundance through divine intervention, illustrating a moment where physical needs were met through miraculous means. This narrative is not only a manifestation of Jesus' divine power, but also an allegory for spiritual nourishment that transcends physical sustenance. One real-world application of this miracle can be seen in modern-day food banks and community kitchens that aim to provide for those in need despite limited resources. These initiatives echo the miracle's themes by showing how collective efforts and sharing can create abundance and sustain communities. Another example is the practice of crowdfunding, where small contributions from many individuals combine to achieve a substantial outcome, reflecting the miracle's message of how sharing even the smallest resources can yield significant results. Supporting opinions often emphasize the miracle as a testament to faith's power in overcoming scarcity. Believers argue that such miracles encourage a mindset of abundance rather than limitation, promoting generosity and the belief that needs will be met in times of scarcity. However, this narrative also invites potential challenges and alternative viewpoints. Skeptics may question the literal interpretation of the miracle, viewing it as a symbolic story rather than a historical event. Critics might argue that emphasizing miraculous solutions could detract from the need to address systemic issues of poverty and hunger through practical, sustainable means. The context of this miracle connects deeply with other aspects of the main topic by framing the entire narrative of abundance and sharing within a divine context. It serves as a foundational moment that influences subsequent teachings about faith, generosity, and the interconnectedness of community. By understanding the context, one gains insight into the broader message the miracle imparts, that faith and collective action can overcome adversity and inspire a sense of unity and compassion within communities. This understanding not only enriches the interpretation of the miracle itself, but also informs practical applications of its lessons in contemporary society. The biblical account. A narrative overview refers to the recounting of one of the most well-known miracles attributed to Jesus, the feeding of the 5,000. This event is documented in all 4 Gospels, highlighting its profound significance in Christian tradition. The narrative describes how Jesus, faced with a multitude of followers in a remote location, miraculously multiplied 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish to feed over 5,000 people, with leftovers to spare. This account underscores the themes of divine provision, abundance, and the power of faith. In relation to the main topic, this narrative serves as a cornerstone for understanding the miracle of abundance and sharing. It exemplifies the belief that faith can lead to miraculous outcomes, and it powerfully illustrates the principle that a spirit of sharing and trust in divine provision can transform scarcity into plenty. This message has resonated with believers for centuries, offering both spiritual comfort and practical inspiration. Real-world applications of this concept are numerous. Firstly, it serves as a foundation for Christian charitable endeavors, such as food pantries and meal programs, which embody the spirit of sharing and provision. Organizations inspired by this miracle aim to alleviate hunger and poverty, reflecting the idea that collective participation can result in abundant outcomes. Secondly, the narrative has inspired individual acts of generosity, encouraging people to contribute their resources, trusting that their small offerings can make a significant impact when multiplied by collective effort and divine grace. Supporters of this idea argue that the miracle showcases the potential of faith and community action to address societal needs. They view the feeding of the 5,000 as a testament to the benefits of sharing resources and trusting in a higher power to provide. However, challenges and alternative viewpoints exist. Some skeptics question the literal interpretation of the miracle, proposing metaphorical or allegorical readings instead. They suggest it encourages sharing the resources at hand, rather than relying on divine intervention. Others debate the historical accuracy of the event, considering it a narrative tool to emphasize theological teachings rather than a factual account. The biblical narrative of the feeding of the 5,000 influences other aspects of the main topic by serving as a template for understanding how faith, sharing, and divine intervention can address human needs. It ties into broader themes of communal responsibility, the power of faith-based actions, and the potential for transformation through belief and cooperation. Overall, it continues to inspire and challenge individuals and communities in their pursuit of addressing both spiritual and practical needs. The concept of symbolism of abundance and provision in the context of the feeding of the 5,000, a miracle of abundance and sharing, refers to the deeper meanings and lessons derived from this biblical narrative. The miracle, where Jesus feeds a multitude with just 5 loaves and 2 fish, symbolizes the limitless provision of God's grace and the abundance that comes from faith and sharing. It highlights the idea that when resources are placed in the service of a higher purpose, they become more than adequate to meet the needs at hand. The significance of this point lies in its ability to serve as a metaphor for divine generosity and the potential for human cooperation to create abundance. It suggests that scarcity is not a lack of resources, but a lack of imagination and faith in the possibilities of generous sharing and community support. This narrative invites believers to trust in divine provision and encourages a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity, fostering a spirit of generosity and openness to sharing what little they might have. Real-world applications of this concept are found in numerous instances of collective action and philanthropy. For example, food banks across the world operate on the principle that pooling resources, even if seemingly limited, can address large-scale food insecurity. Another example is community farming initiatives, where shared land and resources can provide enough produce to support entire communities in need. Supporting opinions from theologians, such as those expressed by Henri Nouwen, suggest that embracing a mindset of abundance can transform individual and collective relationships, leading to more equitable and compassionate societies. However, challenges to this concept exist, particularly in capitalist systems that prioritize individual gain over collective well-being. Criticisms also arise from those who view this miracle as merely allegorical, questioning the practical applicability of such a mindset in today's complex economic systems. The symbolism of abundance and provision is intricately connected to other aspects of the miracle, particularly the theme of sharing. It underscores the transformative power of generosity, highlighting how acts of selflessness can multiply limited resources into sufficiency for all. This connection reinforces the miracle's relevance in contemporary discourse on wealth distribution, poverty alleviation, and social justice, inviting ongoing reflection on how beliefs about scarcity and abundance shape human behavior and societal structures. By offering both a spiritual and practical framework, this symbolism remains a powerful narrative inviting continuous interpretation and application in diverse contexts. The concept of lessons on faith and dependence within the context of the feeding of the 5,000 refers to the ideas of trusting in a higher power and relying on divine provision when faced with seemingly impossible situations. This miracle, as recounted in the Gospels, teaches that faith can transcend physical limitations and that dependence on a larger force can lead to miraculous outcomes. In the story, Jesus takes 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, blesses them, and feeds a multitude, demonstrating not just a supernatural act, but also a profound lesson in faith, relying on God's abundance rather than human scarcity. This point is significant as it underlines the essence of the miracle. It was not merely about physical nourishment, but about trusting in the divine to provide beyond material limitations. This lesson encourages believers to cultivate faith in times of need, emphasizing a spiritual reliance that transcends tangible resources. Real-world applications of this principle can be seen in numerous contexts. For instance, individuals in difficult circumstances often find strength in faith, believing that solutions will arise beyond what is immediately visible. A community facing financial hardship but still choosing to give and share resources with others, trusting that their needs will be met, exemplifies this faith-driven dependence. Similarly, in humanitarian efforts, organizations often embark on daunting missions with limited resources, grounded in the belief that their work will inspire others to contribute, thereby multiplying their impact. Support for this idea is found in religious teachings, which often highlight trust in divine providence as pivotal. Many spiritual leaders advocate for faith as a means of empowerment and reassurance, reinforcing the belief that divine support is unwavering and can manifest in unexpected ways. However, this concept can also face challenges. Skeptics might argue that reliance on faith alone might lead to passivity or neglect of practical solutions, questioning the balance between spiritual trust and actionable steps. Furthermore, critiques suggest that such dependence might not always lead to tangible outcomes, thereby potentially testing believers' resolve. Ultimately, the lesson of faith and dependence enriches the broader narrative of the feeding of the 5,000 by illustrating the transformative power of belief and the potential for sharing and abundance that stems from a collective trust in something greater than oneself. It intertwines with themes of community, generosity, and divine intervention, reinforcing the miracle's multifaceted impact on both individual and collective levels.